Welcome back to the final video of the CAD Level 1 Sketches and Parts workshop. So far, we've learned how to develop a CAD mindset, and then we used that mindset to build ourselves a shape together. Now, let's debrief and talk about the collaboration tools available on Onshape. First, the takeaways. If there's one thing that I want you to remember, it's this slide. First, we always want to remember to model about the origin whenever possible. Sometimes this will help, sometimes this will do mostly nothing. But if it does help, it will help us immensely, because it will help us to use symmetry. Next, adding relations, then dimensions. Use your constraints to fully constrain your sketch. These two things are incredibly important. Remember, fully dimensioning and constraining your sketch is the difference between an amateur's and a professional sketch. And finally, use symmetry whenever possible. Optimizing your design will save you time now, and will save you time later if you decide to change your design. Next, pay attention to the colors that Onshape is showing you. Blue designates under-constrained things that have degrees of freedom that are remaining that need to be constrained. Black designates a fully constrained feature, and red means that you have over-constrained your feature. For instance, you may have told a shape to be square, having equal sides, but then you may have dimensioned those sides as 2 inches by 3 inches. This is a contradiction. If you ever find two conflicting constraints, you can always click on the constraint bubble itself and delete it. But sometimes, Control-Zing back to safety or just starting over is a little bit easier. Finally, collaboration and exporting. These two things are some of my favorite features of Onshape. Let's go back into Onshape to explore these. Back in our coolest Onshape part ever, let's look at sharing. Up in the top right hand corner, there's a blue button called Share. When you click on this, it gives us the option to add the names or emails of our teammates. I can choose my friend Lauren here to become a part of this document and simultaneously edit the document as I'm playing. Again, this is incredibly useful. I strongly suggest that the first thing that you do when you start a part is to share it with all of your teammates, especially when in a project's design-based course. Next, let's say I wanted to send... Next, let's get away from this part and check out some other parts just as an exposition. Let's say I wanted to 3D print this part. I happen to have a huge head, and so whenever I buy a snapback cap, I have to 3D print one of these. I designed this part on Onshape, and I usually print it on a 3D printer at the ITLL. In order to do that, I can right-click anywhere on the shape and select this Export option. When I do that, it will give me several formatting options. You'll recall that the file type that we use for 3D printers is called an STL file. From here, take all of the defaults as is and download this part to your computer. Dragging and dropping that STL file into your 3D printer software will automatically open it up, no questions asked. Next, let's go to another part. Let's say that I wanted to build this cool Maryland flag, Colorado flag mashup puzzle for my friend who lives in Colorado but is from Maryland. If I wanted to use the laser cutter to cut this out, one of the things that I can do is right-click on any flat feature and choose Export as DXF. Now, if I do that, I'm only going to be selecting this part. But let's recall back to what DXF means. DXF files are two-dimensional files. And so what else is a two-dimensional feature? Well, sketches. So if I wanted to export this entire thing as one big part, I could come find the sketch that has the entire shape all set together, right-click it, and export it as a DXF. When I do that, this DXF file will save to my computer, and I can drag it into the laser cutter software. As you further explore Onshape, be it in the next CAD workshop that we offer at the ITLL, or on your own, I encourage you to explore the Learning Center on Onshape. Onshape's Learning Center is free with an EDU account, which you have, and it contains an enormous catalog of instructor-led trainings, self-paced courses, technical briefings, and videos that will help you expand your Onshape skills and CAD skills across the board. Thus concludes our CAD Level 1 Sketches and Parts Skill Building Workshop. Thank you so much for your time. Remember, We at the ITL are here for you, and so if you have any questions or want to explore CAD in our next Onshape workshop, come drop us a visit at the Integrated Teaching and Learning Laboratory at CU Boulder. We'll see you next time.